So hey guys, here I am with what is going to be the second episode of blah blah blah. But before we get into that, I just want to thank those of you that have taken the time to send me messages asking if my family and I are okay from the bushfires. Luckily we're in Queensland. We don't have the bushfires up here as bad as they are down in Sydney and Melbourne. We had the bushfires I think early September. I think around about the 5th of September there was like 51 bushfires within Queensland, and about 12 of those bushfires was actually lit by a firebugs. It's just unbelievable to think that people would deliberately light fires, and it just was catastrophic a lot of areas. And we're seeing that down in Sydney and Melbourne now. We were pretty lucky where we were, as I think if you see the videos from Lone Wanderer and Rage Lane Gaming, I think Tim's father was a firefighter down in New South Wales. That's why I haven't seen too many videos from him lately. And we had fires up here, but not where we are. Where we live here, down the road that side, it's all a built-up city, but on the other side of this road where we are, there is bushland there. So I drive to work each day. On both sides of the road there's just bushland everywhere, so that's kind of scary. But we didn't have the fires here, and they did do some back burning. I think it was back in August, which kind of helped us here. But it's just unbelievable what's happening down in Sydney and Melbourne at the moment. And even those, I've seen some friends on Instagram, they're talking about the smoke from those fires, and we've had the same situation here, where my wife is asthmatic. There's days we just, we didn't go out because of the amount of smoke. And I remember being at work, and the undercover car park, there was like a haze of smoke down there. I've never seen fires like this before. Sydney and Melbourne is getting a really bad time at the moment with those bushfires. But the firefighters, the volunteer firefighters, are doing an amazing job. Neil from Too Busy Gamers and Jess, the fires came close to them. I did see a post from The Last Gamer. The fires did come close to them as well, but with the firefighters and volunteer fires, they're able to keep the fires at bay around those areas. But I know Tyson from Tyson's gaming spot, being in communication with him, he's in the thick of it. I think they've been trapped in the Sydney South Coast since the 31st of December with his family, and at one stage they were on standby to be evacuated to the ocean. Luckily over the last couple of days they've had some rainfall, which has helped it a bit. But I'm just keeping in contact with him, making sure he's okay. Fantastic guy. We did a collaboration video together a few months ago. Really nice person. But hoping they're okay. And it's just, there's been loss of life. And I think on the news the other night I saw them doing a story on the wildlife. People taking these injured animals to these wildlife centers, and the staff there just breaking down in tears because they're bringing in animals that they can't be saved. They just got to be put down. It's just horrific to see that sort of stuff. And we've had there's been donations flooding in from around the world. Pink's donated like $500,000. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban the same amount. Just the generosity of everybody around the world has been it's been brilliant. Just people coming together. Our politicians are now arguing about climate change. Did it play a part? Just give us a break, these politicians. And they want to do a colonial inquest or something into this as well. And it's like, oh man, just no wonder Scott Morrison, our Prime Minister, people don't want him anywhere near where these towns have been devastated. So I can understand the anger at him while he's in Hawaii on holidays. These things were happening. But it's terrible, but we are safe where we are. Just the smoke was bad for my wife and my daughter as well. Now, the other day I had the opportunity to meet somebody from the gaming community. Can you believe it? After all these years I've met JP Styles 85 in the flesh. He was passing through Brisbane, and it was all really good timing that we were able to meet. while he was passing through Brisbane, and it was great to meet somebody finally from this from Instagram and YouTube. He has got a YouTube channel as well, and we just hit it off straight away. It's like we were I'm gonna take that away. It's like we were like best mates for years and years and years. We have never met each other before. We've spoken on Instagram and YouTube, obviously, but we just hit it off straight away, and we spent an hour and a half just talking about gaming, not just gaming stuff. We spoke about a lot of different topics, and I just wish we would have had a camera, or I should have recorded some of the conversation we had, because it was pure gold and it would have been made some great episodes. So I've got to put it out there to Lone Wanderer and Rage Lane Gaming. We've got to meet up sometime this year, and we need to sit down and just talk about whatever, and maybe even film it, because I guarantee it's going to be gold. It's going to be great. So yeah, we've got to do it this year, and I'm hoping that we're going to go to PAX 2020. I don't know if it's in Melbourne or Sydney, but yeah, wherever it is, I really want to go meet Gunham Russ. Hopefully Too Busy Gamers are going to be there. Retro Game Guy, Retro Game Girl, they're from Brisbane as well. I don't know why we haven't met up yet, but I do work weekends and it's really hard on that sort of stuff. And yeah, there's so many other people I love to meet from not only the Instagram community, but also the YouTube community. Now, I just want to get into a couple of topics that I've been looking at over the last few days. I think it was the PlayStation at the I didn't know that the CES was still going. I thought that was done with years ago, but Sony just announced the PlayStation 5 officially, I guess you can say, and the big event of that show was actually the PlayStation 5 logo, which doesn't look very different from the PlayStation 4 logo, and I'm seeing people just sort of losing it on reaction videos just by revealing that. Is it really that exciting? I mean, I knew it was going to be very similar to the PS, going to be the same, and just change the 4 to a 5. Is it really something to get so worked up about? Not for me. Maybe I'm a jaded gamer, but yeah, and that's another thing. I was talking to JP Styles. We're talking about the next gen of systems, and I think he asked me a question: am I getting it? And I'm still undecided. I'm on the fence about these next gen systems. I've got a huge catalog here, a back catalog to play, and so does he. And depending on price and what is released, it's going to play a massive thing for me. It's going to play a big part for me deciding, do I get it or do I hold off maybe 1 or 2 years when the price does drop? There'll probably be a slim model, and the games will be a lot cheaper. But yeah, I don't know. But it was interesting to see also at the CES show, some of the sales, some of the figures for the PlayStation 4. There's been 106 million PlayStation 4 sold. Man, that's massive. I remember back in the day, I think the Super Nintendo sold about 41 million, and I think the original NES sold probably about over 60 million. So yeah, that was big back then, but 60 million for old 8-bit system, 106 million for, yes, it's interesting. It's not that much of a margin between them. But I was really surprised with the PlayStation VR. I never thought that thing was really popular. I do want to get one, but I'm not willing to pay $499 for it. I do see them go on sale every now and again, down to $199, $299 with a bundle. I was really surprised to know that there's 5 million of those things out there. That's a lot. That's a lot more than I thought. Just the amount of PlayStation 4 games sold over the lifetime so far, 1.15 billion games. So there should never be a shortage of secondhand games in stores. And there's other things as well, but that's boring to me. But as far as the specs go, I'm not. Yeah, it looks cool, but I'm still undecided about it, honestly. And same with the Xbox Series X. I am interested in what I saw with the Hellblade. I've got the first game. That's a really great game. If you haven't tried it, do try it. Sinu's Sacrifice. It does deal with psychosis, and the best way to play that game is with headphones. You really need to put the headphones on so those voices will get in your head. You're not going to hear them playing it through the TV, maybe with a 7.1 surround sound or whatever it is these days. You're going to get that experience, but for me, the headphones, it was wild. It was unbelievable. A great game, and it was good to see, an exclusive title for the Xbox Series X. God, that's a mouthful just saying it itself. But I came across something really interesting now. I'm a big Tomb Raider fan. You guys should know that by now. But Britain's Royal Mail is going to release a series of Lara Croft Tomb Raider stamps. So you'll be able to lick Lara Croft before you put it on an envelope. That's amazing. So it looks like it's going through some of the iconic scenes of, and it's actually got the Tomb Raider 2010, I think 2013. So it's going through a lot of different periods of the Tomb Raider franchise from the very first one. I can't really see these too good, but yeah, 2000. That one looks like 1998. So yeah, that's cool. If I can get one, it'd be great. It looks like a series of 4 stamps, but I thought that was really cool. And yeah, it's about time that happened. I think. Oh, it looks like it's coming. Yeah, it looks really cool. I think there may be some other stuff as well. But yeah, no, I don't mind that at all. But yeah, I don't know. And that's another thing that I saw that was really funny was the somebody that worked at Ubisoft, a cleaner, took some photos of the I think the development kit of the PlayStation 5. We've already seen that before, but to see it actually it looks a lot clearer. It's much more close up, and he's actually you see the hand cleaning the development kit, and it's wild. I'm guessing that person would have lost their job by now. That's for sure. That was really funny to see. Now I've got to say, when the I think it was the Switch Lite was, the rumors went around about the Switch Lite, and I was never really into it. I'm not into playing in a handheld mode. Maybe my daughter is, but now, of course, after they announced that, released it, everybody's been talking about this Switch Pro. Will it happen? Won't it happen? I'm guessing it will happen because a lot of people were right about the Lite, and it will have to be 4K. It will have to have more memory. But I'm asking myself, do I get one? Looking at more space for what is it for the the battery life is going to be better. The cartridge size will be bigger. But I don't know. It's just, for me, I'm happy with what I got. What price point are they going to release? Something that I guess should be 4K compatible. That means that they're going to have to patch a lot of these Switch games. I've got a lot of Switch games up there. Are they going to, is the third-party developers going to take the time to patch those games? I don't know, but if it does happen, I'll be interested to see the price points for those things. But I'm just wondering, what are the prices of the PlayStation 5, the Scarlett going to be? To me, here in Australia, I'm thinking $900. They're going to be powerhouses of consoles for sure, and the exchange rate as well is just horrendous against the American dollar. I think even the Japanese yen is not that great. Canadian gamer, you should know as well. The Canadian dollar are kind of like very similar. So yeah, it's going to come down to pricing games for me. So in my last video, I was talking about finishing the first game of 2020, which was Wonder Boy: The Dragon's Trap, which is based on the Sega Master System game Wonder Boy 3: The Dragon's Trap. Now, a lot of you may not know this, but the very first Wonder Boy game had a remaster as well from a Korean company, and that's Wonder Boy Returns. You can get this on the PlayStation Network. It's on the Xbox 360, and Xbox One, and also the Nintendo Switch. Download digital copy. This was limited to, I think, 1,200 copies, and this is number 913. This was from Strictly Limited. I was lucky to pick that up. I was determined to get that one, but you can't pick it up digitally now, physically now, physically, and that's another thing. Look, with the next generation systems after the PlayStation 5, Series X, they've got to be digital only. Now the big question for me is, can I go digital? Can I go completely digital, considering I've got my physical collection, and I do prefer collecting physical games, displaying them, holding them, being able to pick them up, look at them with a nice postcard. But with digital releases, they're just on the hard drive. You're never going to be able to physically hold the cart, the disc, the case, and just look at it. And it is a good centerpiece of discussion when you're looking at stuff like, what's behind me. And I've got to be honest, I think that if we ever go down the path of fully digital, that'd probably be it for me. I've got a great collection here. I can go back, reminisce, play, get through some of these games. I'm not the kind of person that wants digital only, and I thought I could do that with CDs and DVDs, Blu-rays, but here I am recollecting that stuff because I want to be able to see what I buy. I don't want to buy $100 digital game when I can buy the same game for half the price physically. And I've seen that on these, the PlayStation Network, the Nintendo eShop and all the other stuff. I've seen digital copies selling for a lot more than its physical counterpart, and I just I won't justify that in the future, and that's just me. But that's how I feel about that. I'm always going to be a physical collector. I can make mock-ups of covers and stuff like that, but when you open the case, there's nothing inside it. I won't be able to open the case and there's the game inside it and maybe a postcard or a manual, which is very rare these days as well. I mean, we're still paying probably the same amount of money for a game as I did back 30 years ago with the Master System. You just get these little crappy blue and white road maps, and here we are 31 years later and there's no manuals. I know a lot of people out there do enjoy looking at the manuals. It's something that I think it's good to see companies like Limited Run, Strictly Limited, all that sort of stuff, Super Rare Games, when they do include manuals. It's I do appreciate and enjoy looking at it. But yeah, what's your thoughts on that? Anything here I'm talking about now? Your thoughts on the PlayStation 5? Are you sitting on the fence still? Are you going to hold off getting it because the hardcore fanboys will be there straight away? I used to be a hardcore fanboy of Nintendo, of Xbox, of PlayStation, but over the years it's like I need to wait, and I'm not going to spend heaps of money. And yeah, like I said, is it going to be expensive? I think these machines will be, especially here in Australia. It's not going to be something that I'm going to be able to afford. I've got other things to do first. So that's it for this episode. I guess this is going to be a weekly thing. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The views on the last one actually surprised me, and that was an afterthought. The whole blah 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 episode 1 thing, that came to me while I was doing the thumbnail. There was never going to be an episode 2, but because some of you guys out there said I can't wait for episode 2, or the views have been good, so hey, let's just do this. Just want to get just share what I'm thinking, what I'm seeing within the last 7 days of gaming news, and just my opinions on some of that stuff. And yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming out very, very soon. I believe that somebody, the Dreamcast guy, the guy that cries a lot, I believe that he's already played the demo. Somehow he got a pirated demo, so well done to him for being one of the first people ever to be able to play the demo of that. Yeah, very special, isn't it? But for me, yeah, there's another remake I'm going to have to get. Oh man, these remakes. And this is actually a really good game. I picked this up from a news agent here in Brisbane for $2. It was, I don't know how it ended up in a news agent. Maybe somebody that worked inside was just trying to get rid of their games. $2 for this. Unbelievable. That's score of the century, or the year for me. I think that was when I was working at Park Ridge. Brilliant, love it. Really cool. But $2 for that. I should have got Gran Turismo. There was $2. I thought, okay, I'll go back the next day and get it. And it was gone. See, blah blah blah. Episode 2 done. See you next time, guys. And yeah, we're safe with the fires. Thoughts and prayers to everybody that's still affected by what is unbelievable. Just, yeah, I've never seen it this bad before with bushfires. I've seen bushfires before, but this is extreme, very extreme. But we're safe. See you next time, guys. Bye.